tube. Hey, YouTube. You too. Glad you could be here. This is Michael Romeo, and I talk about books. That's why I call my channel Michael Romeo Talks Books. It is gorgeous weather here in North Carolina, and I know some people are having some rough weather right now, but I I don't feel bad that I have temperatures in the 70s and light breezes and birds singing and all that kind of stuff. I hope for better for the rest of you. We are doing a fun tag today. Awesome tag. It was created, and I should have written it down. Gareth at Books, Songs, and Magic Stuff, I think is the name of his channel. I'll have to double check that. If I'm wrong, I'll just put it in text down here, so you can see. But I think it's called Books, Songs, and the Magic. But his name's Gareth. He's got a fun channel. He not only reviews books, he reviews classic albums and music. And he created this tag that we're doing today called the Song Tag. And I gotta tell y'all, you know I love books. If you've watched any of my videos, if you're new here, let me tell you, I love books. Probably coming in second to my love of books is my love of music. And I am a total music fanatic. I think it is such a cheat that I never managed to be able to develop musical talent. I've been very good at learning the technicalities of music. I could read music. I can do all this other stuff. I can play notes. I can play chords. I can't make it sound like music. There's a gene missing there somewhere in my DNA. So anyway, we're doing that, the song tag, and it's a lot of fun. And I've been looking forward to doing this. So, and before I start, let me tell you, I have created a playlist that is the soundtrack to this content. If I mention a song or I mention an artist, they are in the playlist, okay? And I'm going to link the playlist in the description so that you can have access to it. It's a YouTube playlist. You can toggle back and forth if you want, hear my answer for prompt number 1 and go see what the song sounds like. Or you can watch the whole content and then go listen to the soundtrack later. But yeah, I had fun putting that together. I was fortunate that YouTube has so many awesome videos when it comes to music that everything I looked for I found and then some. Okay, so no more delaying. Let's start the song tag. Oh, and sorry, one more delay. I was tagged by MJ at Reading This Life, and I know a lot of you already know who MJ is. She's got such a huge following. But if you haven't found her yet, check her out. I'll have her in my description along with Gareth. Here we go. Prompt number 1. Name a song that always makes you happy. Song that always makes me happy. Every time it comes on, I can't help, even if I'm in a rotten mood, I can't help but stop bebopping to this song, and it is Uptown Funk. It's a collaboration between Bruno Mars and Mark Ronson. And Bruno Mars does the singing and the performing and on, and Mark Ronson, of course, I believe he wrote the music, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, Uptown Funk. And I love some of the lines in it, like, I'm so hot, call the police and the fireman. I'm so hot, make a dragon want to retire, man. I love that. Make a dragon want to retire. I like dragons. So Uptown Funk is a song that always makes me feel good. Number two, name a song that's a great fit for when you are in a pensive mood. And right away, I didn't even have to think about it again. Right away, a song came to me that is, it's an oldie but a goodie. But the version that I like was recorded about 10 years ago by Kenny Chesney in a duet with Willie Nelson. And the song is That Lucky Old Sun. It is a beautiful song, and the recording that is my favorite and is the one that's in the soundtrack um, is probably the most beautiful recording of that song I have ever heard. And whenever I'm in one of those moods, I put it on. Sometimes I just put it on repeat and let it play over and over again, and I just let it wash over me. It is such a beautiful song. That lucky old sun has nothing to do but roll around heaven all day. Number three, name a song that changed your taste in music. Thought about this one. I had a couple of situations that I thought I could use for this one, but I finally settled on one. A job I used to have, working in a hotel, um, had a deal with a local theater um, that if we would let the bands and the other performers stay at the hotel, we would get passes for free tickets that could be handed out to employees. And I got handed one for a group called Lunasa. And I'd never heard of them. Um, I'd heard the word Lunasa. I knew it was like a holiday or something in pagan tradition. Um, and I went. I went to the concert with my wife, and they opened the song and they opened the concert with the song called "Morning Nightcap," and I fell in love with it right there and then. I fell in love with Celtic music right there and then, and I have been an avid fan of Celtic music ever since. I have seen more Celtic bands because this this theater used to have a program. I forget what it was called, but it brought in Celtic performers from all over the world, and I got to see quite a few of them. And but Lunasa was the first, and the first song they played was "Morning Nightcap," and to this day I love that song, and to this day I love that band. I cannot count the number of times I have seen them perform live. They are such a dynamic band. If you've never seen Lunasa perform live, if they come to your area, take the time and go. They are so good. Um, so that was the one that changed my taste in music because I became a fan of Celtic music, and I still am to this day. Love it. And we're not talking river dance here. River dance is fun, but Celtic music, really heartfelt Celtic music, is a whole other experience. Um, Prompt number four. Name a recent song that you've just discovered and loved. And that one was easy. I have recently discovered a performer, a singer songwriter named Sam Williams. Um, he comes from a very famous family. His grandfather was the great Hank Williams, the singer songwriter from the what was it, the 40s and the 50s, who died tragically in his 20s. Died very young. Um, but he left children, and one of those children, known as Hank Williams Jr., had a late in life son called Sam Williams. And that's who this young lad is. And the song that really surprised me when I heard it was called Tilted Crown. And it's all about the pitfalls of growing up in a famous family when you're trying to hide who you truly are and who you need to be. It's a very powerful song, very powerful song, and it's in the playlist. It's in the soundtrack. So make sure you give it a listen. I was an instant Sam Williams fan. Um, I was saying to my wife just today, though, you listen to his music, if you listen to it in a chunk all together, you hear that he's a very troubled young man, and um, I said to my wife, I hope he finds therapy soon because I would hate to be reading about his suicide in the headlines because he really he has some issues. He has some baggage he's carrying. But his then the pain makes his songs powerful, and yeah, so check it out, Tilted Crown, and the video that goes with it is tells the whole story. Prompt number 5: name 3 bands or artists that you love. I came prepared for the number 1. I love my Lady Gaga. Lady Gaga, Lady Gaga. Love Lady Gaga. Thank you, MJ, at Reading This Life, for introducing me to Lady Gaga's music. It has been a wonderful journey. Oh, even the horses are agreeing with me. I don't know if you can hear that, but um, I have just totally gone head over heels for Lady Gaga. She is an amazing woman, not just in singing, but her acting. If you've never seen one of her movies, please take the time to watch one of her movies. She is a brilliant actress. She's a philanthropist. She is brilliant and funny and just she's everything a pop idol should be that a lot of them aren't. Um, and again, thank you, MJ, because MJ, I was kind of teasing her because she was going to a Lady Gaga concert, and I said, Lady Gaga. The only thing I knew about Lady Gaga was the meat dress issue, which I'm not going to go into here. Um, and I was like, really, at your age, you're going to go see a Lady Gaga concert? And she basically said to me in text form that, have you ever heard her music? I'm like, well, no, not really. And she proceeded to introduce me to the music of Lady Gaga. And a more versatile performer you will never find. I included a special performance in the soundtrack for this content on that playlist where she does a tribute to Julie Andrews that is just breathtaking. And when you hear that compared to the more up-tempo pop and rock stuff that she does, and she can, it's like almost like she flips the switch. I know she didn't in this case because I saw an interview with Julie Andrews who revealed that Lady Gaga trained for 2 months to be able to sing the medley of Julie Andrews songs in the key that Julie Andrews sang them back in the early 1960s. So you got to watch it. The video's there, along with some others of Lady Gaga, that songs of hers that I love her. I just love her. Also, in the 3 bands or artists, I'm including Mary Chapin Carpenter. If you remember, about this time last year, I did the favorites tag, and at that time, I put Mary Chapin Carpenter as my number 1. Well, she's been bumped down a notch, but I still love Mary Chapin Carpenter, and I've got a couple of her videos in the playlist too. And then, not bringing up the rear by any means, but third on the list is the jazz singer Diana Krall. And let me tell you, if you've never heard Diana Krall, She is probably, no, not probably, she is definitely the best jazz vocalist to come along since Ella Fitzgerald. Um, she, in my opinion, as much as I love Ella Fitzgerald, she is even many times better than Ella Fitzgerald. She just has a voice and a style that is captivating and mesmerizing. And her songs are in the playlist, so I hope you all enjoy that playlist because I had a blast putting it together to meet these questions. And what else have we got? Oh, what instrument would you like to be able to play? Um, that would be the fiddle. Ever since I became a fan of Celtic music, I have wanted to learn to play the fiddle. The Celtic fiddle is, ah, it's on fire sometimes. In the playlist, I've included a video by Natalie McMaster, who is an award-winning fiddle player, um, and she's doing a number called Volcanic Jig, and I love the number. I love what she does with her fiddle. It's the type of thing I wish I was capable of doing. Um, but I've already tried piano. I've tried guitar. I've tried flute, not flute, um, harmonica. Harmonica, big difference. Um, and like I said, I can play the notes. I can read the music, but it just doesn't sound like music when I do it. And probably the same thing if I tried to learn to play the fiddle. And but but yeah, I can dream, can't I? Then what do we got? We got number 7. Name a fiction book that has music at the center of its narrative. I thought about this one. I've heard of a lot of books like Daisy and the Six and The Shreds, I think it's called, and but I've not read them, and I didn't want to include them in the list if I didn't read them. And I dug and I dug and I dug, and I finally remembered one I read years ago called "Cry to Heaven" by Anne Rice. This predates the Vampire Chronicles, um, and it's a story about the castrati, who those of you who don't know what the castrati are, back in the Renaissance times, if I'm not mistaken, I believe it was Renaissance times. Um, the church, the Catholic Church, would castrate young boys, um, for the sake of preserving their voices, so their voices would never drop. And um, I guess it was supposed to sound angelic. Even adult men singing who had been castrated still had these voices that were way up here. And I guess it's supposed to have an angelic sound. And but anyway, long story. She captures the horror and the bittersweetness and the just the impact of what their lives were like. And this happened um, for a long time. It didn't just happen in the Renaissance age. It happened. It happened quite a lot. And as a matter of fact, the last castrati that was known to people um, made a recording in the 1920s because he was still alive. He died in the 20th century, early part of the 20th century, and it's just an amazing story about what happened to these kids, and as they grew up into adulthood, and their whole purpose was to provide beautiful music for the church, and that was the one I used. I don't have anything in the playlist to support this. I did look. I tried to find some, and I did find a couple of videos of that gentleman that was known as the Last Castrati. But the what am I trying to say? The quality of the videos were terrible. They were so old and so worn and so overplayed and overused that you could barely hear the audio, and um, what you could hear didn't sound very good anyway. So that's the only prompt in here that doesn't have a video to back it up in the playlist on the soundtrack. Um, Finally, I get to tag some people. I am definitely tagging Micah Cummins for the simple reason that in the past year that he's been on BookTube, he just celebrated his first year anniversary. Congratulations, Micah. Um, there's been a mention every so often of music that he likes. I can't even remember what brought the topic up, um, but he has good taste in music. At least I think so because it matches stuff that I like. So it's got to be good, right? Um, I'm also curious to find out what Read by Fred will do with this one. So, Fred, tell us about your love of music, if you have a love of music. If you don't, then please do it anyway. And let's see, I'm going to do Back Away from the Donkey, who I just recently met here on BookTube. Um, got a fun channel. Um, he found me first, and then I did a quid pro quo, and subscribed to his channel after he subscribed to mine. And so those are my three. We're gonna go with Micah. We're gonna go with Fred, and we're gonna go with Back Away from the Donkey. So that's it. That's my tag. I hope you enjoyed the playlist. Leave your comments down below about these songs, about these people, the performers. Leave your comments about the playlist if you think it was a waste of time, if you thought it was worthwhile. And tell me what are your answers to some of these? Who's your favorite bands? What's your favorite happy song? Um, if I didn't tag you in this and you want to do it, feel free to do it. Consider yourself tagged. You can go ahead and say I tagged you. I don't mind. Um, and just share with us because this is a fun tag to do. And do a playlist to go with it so we can watch it too, just like I just did. Um, this has been fun, and I'm looking forward to seeing what you all have to say. And we'll talk to you again very soon. Bye.